All right. Yo, what's good? It's Flexico. How's it going? Um, this post that I made is kind of going crazy, so I figure just make a video about it. You know what I mean? We've kind of been covering, we have been covering just about almost every move Nine has made since December of last year, or not even in 2024. Um, a lot has happened in between then. I actually have a video out that I'll put in the description, kind of going over like his history a little bit with the addition of the most important context, which is, him working with YSL, being signed to Thug and things of that nature. I describe all of that in the last video. So let's get started with this as we have like a new update. So Nine just posted on his Instagram story. It actually should still be there, to be honest. Here, let me see. Right here. So this is a FaceTime call, and there is an individual on this call by the name of Wendy Goldstein. He then drops a snippet for what may be emotions, maybe it's a snippet of before emotions. We talked about that too in the last video. He's getting ready to drop a project. It's kind of been on the back burner for a long time. He's pump faking. A lot of people are calling it the Cardi method, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. And he announced it was supposed to essentially drop back in September. You know what I mean? So we're in January. Some people think it's going to drop in February, but he then announced a B4 project that's going to be dropping before Motions. No, sorry. That's kind of been his formula since he started dropping music more on the regular in the last couple of years. And we're going to watch this too at the as we get to it, but this is also a key piece too, because there's some things that he says in this that is going to open up the bigger picture. He posts every day we make, oh shit, sorry. He posts every day we make up the greatest, feels great to be us. LOL, having our way. We finna drop this motherfucker on these peons. Crazy man. And this is the when he had posted emotions. Originally, everyone thought it was gonna drop on Christmas, but it didn't. Spam the fuck out of this shit, bro. We finna take the goddamn world over. Fuck anyone in our way. If they in our way, we roll them. So that's what he posted on his story, right? So for those that don't know who Wendy Goldstein is, she is the co-president of Republic Records, which is an American record label owned by Universal Music Group, based in New York City. It was founded by Avery Lippman and Monte Lippman as an independent label in 1995 and was acquired by UMG in 2000. Now, as far as Wendy Goldstein goes and who she is, we know she's co-president of Republic Records, one of the biggest record labels in the country, right? Again, this is who Nine Vicious on FaceTime with. So let me just I'm just gonna read this a little about me kind of thing. Just to give you guys some more context on who this is. Wendy Goldstein is one of the top decision makers on the Republic side. She's widely known as an A&R First Executive, Arts Development, Records, and Strategy, and she's currently listed as the leader of Republic Records as President and Chief Creative Officer. She was also named Co-President of Republic Records alongside Jim Rappo in 2021. So this is how she's involved essentially. Signings and deal conversations, new artist deals and moving artists between label situations, partnerships, and fixing stuck situations. In our direction, what music gets prioritized, how products are shaped, who the internal team is, resource unlocks, marketing, promo push, radio support, playlisting priorities, and she also takes care of label-wide creative decisions. That's who that is. And going back into the fixing relationships thing and how Mercury Records plays a part in all of this. If you guys remember from the last video, there were some issues that I talked about that Nine Vicious had with Young Stoner Life Records. A little bit more context for those that might have not watched that or might not even know what's going on. Young Stoner Life Records, obviously, it's Young Thug's record label. And when Nine came out the gate, he was emulating Thug a lot, so well to the point to where Thug brought him under his wing for a bit, as for what it seemed, right? But a lot of things unfolded since then. Again, that's in my last video. I'll link it here. But there, fast forward to about late December, around the time where everyone's expecting Nine Vicious to drop his album. He tags Geoff in a story on IG, and he says this. I'm gonna play this just for this video because this is needed context here. This is when so I'm gonna read this tweet here that I'm in. Nine Vicious speaks on his music getting taken down from distributions. This comes shortly after B4SA and many singles are removed from Spotify. Mentions Young Stone Life Records in his IG story, right?
My
So we're gonna
music
play this video
down.
real quick.
Someone's taking my music down. I don't know who's taking my music down. If you love me, go after who I say go after right now. They're taking my music down. They're being bitches. I don't care about anything. I love y'all. The fucking music's going down. It's not my fault. I don't know what's going on.
So pretty much, yeah, he says all that, and then this was the second story. He tags Geoff immediately in the replies.
Yo, Geoff, upload my music now. My music down. Someone's
All right, so this is Geoff Ugunlesi. Um, Geoff, what his role is, to my understanding, I had to look this up a little bit. The role that he plays in YSL, he served as the vice president of A&R for 300 Entertainment and vice president of YSL Records. He worked with Thug as an A&R and manager for over 6 years, right? He had something to do with Thug's project Slime Language too, that compilation, and Punk as well. So yeah, so that's who Geoff is. This is the individual that Nine was mentioning in his IG story. So Nine, it kind of feels like he has some sort of cult following at this point because in that video he was telling everybody, go after who I say go after. You know what I mean? And sure enough, they did. They did. They were in Geoff's replies saying things like upload Nine's music, upload his music. These are some of the songs. I'll explain in my last video. These are some of the songs that were gone, some projects even missing as well. So, some things went quiet, right? Some things went quiet after that, you know what I mean? And fast forward, I might be missing something here, but this plays into a part of the bigger picture, right? So this is another story post about 2 weeks after he went on IG and said, he was having issues with his music getting taken down. He posts a screenshot on his alt account. He had an alt account on Instagram. That's like sort of like a Finsta, like a burner account, right? For those that don't know. And he shared a screenshot of him texting this individual by the name of Tyler Arnold. So Tyler Arnold, right? This is a text that he sent to Tyler Arnold. Album of the year, it's us. I don't think they ready, boss man. This shit sounding crazy. Merry Christmas, love you. Then he says here, he tags Tyler. Hey, big bro, let's drop album of the year. Fuck these niggas for real. It's a YVL FN world. So who is this Tyler Arnold individual that you guys might be asking if you're watching this? He is the president of Mercury Records. Right here. He's the president of Mercury Records, which is operated under Republic Records. And who is the co-president of Republic Records? Wendy Goldstein. So Tyler M. Arnold is an American record executive who has acted as the A&R vice president of Republic Records from 2020 to 2022 after joining the company in 2014. He is now the president of Mercury Records, which operates under Republic, right? So he's known as like the builder, someone who develops artists, fixes, messy situations, and creates structures and things of that nature without like killing momentum. So what people say about, or what the common consensus on what Mercury Records is to artists, it's often where artists land when they need a clean slate or smarter runway. This guy is responsible for making that work. You know what I mean? So when you connect Wendy Goldstein at Republic with Tyler at Mercury, it shows the infrastructure, right? So Wendy essentially opens the door, and this Tyler guy is the guy that builds the house, if that makes sense. So just to kind of bring everything in, tie everything in together, just so we have like a clearer path of what's going on. You know what I mean? Let's kind of circle back here. As far as Nine's concerned, he had like strong momentum. He had a huge buzz. And then, we start seeing issues with his music getting deleted and things of that nature. There was a lot of reported friction with, someone on the YSL side. He was having issues over there, with Thug. Um, and, in situations like this, when there's like an artist that is getting this big, this quick, you know what I mean? And things around them start to, like, the infrastructure starts to kind of, let's say it starts glitching, right? That's usually when these people come in and these conversations are meant to happen. So going back to Wendy Goldstein, again, you know, we kind of give a brief discussion. We had a brief discussion on what exactly she is to do, or what it is that she does. Um, but she's historically an A&R first decision maker. You know what I mean? Um, her job necessarily isn't paperwork stuff, but it's direction, you know what I mean? Long-term positioning, right? When you have someone like this person on a FaceTime call with an artist, it's usually because there's something worth, protecting or building, right? Um, it's gotten to the point where he's getting eyes by these people that are at these levels in the industry. So that's where he's at now. So going back to Republic Records and Mercury, the labels, right? Republic Records is essentially the powerhouse, while Mercury Records operates as an imprint under the same umbrella, if that makes sense. Mercury is known for arts development, cleaner rollouts, giving the arts space to grow. But with Republic, it's about their infrastructure behind everything. If that makes sense. So when Wendy gets involved, when this lady gets involved here, the conversation could be, Republic directly, or Mercury as the driving force kind of thing, right? So what I'm gonna do now, this is blowing up. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna play some of these snippets that like came out. Um, just so you guys know, because he says certain things in these songs that allude to this whole situation, right? So this snippet right here, this grail called Feeling Myself, this dropped January 9th, so about a week and a half ago. In this song, he says, "Hey Geoff, where my statement at? I recouped my money, got a brand new deal on the way." And this was right after, back in December when, Nine came out and said, "Yo, they're taking my music down, like Geoff, upload my music, things of that nature." Right. So he mentions Geoff in this song. I'm just gonna skip to the part. So right here he says, first he says, "Just recouped my bread," right here. Know where I'm at. Beat on that pussy, I know this fake. He throwing ass, he got some sex. He nigga mad, cause look like a mess. Nigga a pussy, know you a pest. I got a fight, I got a sweet. I some pussy, I need a rest. Just recoup my bread. Shout out Simon. Just recoup my bread for my life, bitch. Shout out Simon. Did this get it? Oh, ain't no slaughter. I got Eli on my. And here's the statement bar right here. I got the big, I shoot the fire, you got the slime him. Whoa, he is a rat, can't do that. I'm a snake, so I'm gonna bite him. Hey, John, where my statement at? I recouped my money, got a brand new deal on the way. So what that tells us is the issue between Nine and Geoff is now resolved, right? Apparently he's gotten some new deal that was worked out. We don't really know too much. He shouts out this individual named Simon. And again, this is the same time where he had posted this screenshot as well on his alt. So that happens. That's kind of like a big deal, right? Because now it seems that Nine might have like a better deal, like on stake, not, on like at stake, right? Not the gambling company. But, so that happens. Then there seems to be like a little bit more traffic after that, because then the Che thing happened too, so that happened as well. It's kind of unrelated, but yeah, the point of that was to show that seemed like whatever issues he had with Geoff seemed to be resolved, right? And there's new people stepping in. Now I'm going to play this new snippet here. It's about a minute long. He mentions labels. He mentions Geoff again in this. This just came out a couple hours ago, like as I'm making this video. You know what I mean? So here we go. This is the song. It's called "I Can Tell," produced by Patrick. The 4-0 necklace. You gotta hear what he says in this.
I can tell that that boy a dub by the way he stay. I can tell that that boy a dub by the way he stay. I can tell that boy he a dub by the way he stay. She gon' ride this dick like a fucking tire slay. Nigga ain't talking about shit. I got a fight. Nigga get wet, bitch. Nigga wanna play. Shorty gon' die. I can't strap, bitch. Bitch, I kill that blick and make her dance. It's a new world order in this bitch. I'm the man.
It's a new world order.
Rich, I beat this hoe, cause I can. Better try this shit when I say this, so shawty, I ain't playing. I don't give a fuck about labels. I don't give a fuck about labels. I done got rich on GR. I had to turn them tables.
I done got rich on Geoff. I had to turn them tables.
I done got rich on GR. I had to turn them tables. Shit, I'm having too many dice. I done turned to a player. I put out the LA, I run this shit. I run it be like a mayor. I can tell that boy he a dub by the way he step. She gon' ride this thing.
All right, so that's pretty much the song or slash snippet. I don't give a fuck about a label. I don't give a fuck about a label. I got rich on Geoff. I had to turn the tables. Right? You know, so as he drops this, you know, again, remember, right before he dropped that, he's on FaceTime with Wendy Goldstein of Republic Records. You know, and between all that going on, he's bringing Tyler M. Arnold into the picture, you know, and yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Seems like Nine got a new deal on the way. The Mercury and Republic seem to have gotten him out of, or is in the process of getting him out of whatever deal he is currently in with YSL. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at now. But there are also 3 scenarios I kind of want to play out here just to see, you know, because it could be a few things, right? It really could be. So here are the 3 scenarios. The first one would be a new deal or restructure, right? So restructure doesn't always mean signing a brand new contract, right? Sometimes it means, you know, fixing things on how, you know, how things are set up, ownership, release control, timelines, communication. So for example, if Republic or Mercury C9 already has motion, which obviously, you know, anybody can see that. The goal isn't to control him, it's to optimize what's already working and remove friction. You know, some labels, you know what I mean? They like to take complete control over artists and well, not to say complete control, but you know, they want to have the say so in the creative process and things like that. You know what I mean? Um, and not really giving the artist too much freedom to be themselves or keep doing what it is that they were doing that's been working. You know what I mean? Without any of their help, that is too. That's when, you know, A&R driven execs step in moments like this. So the second scenario is Nine stepping away from Young Stoner Life Records. That doesn't equate like, you know, him having like any more issues with them moving forward. I'm sure it's all love and things of that nature. But a lot of label exits are quiet, you know, they're legal, they're very business focused. There's no tweets, no explosions, you know what I mean? Very calm exits. In Nine's case, you know, he's been dropping it in a lot of snippets and things of that nature, talking about it on his stories. He's been pretty vocal about what's going on, if you like really pay attention. If an artist feels like momentum is being slowed down or releases are getting stuck, the next move is usually to, you know, find stability, right? So this FaceTime right here with Wendy Goldstein shows that, you know, Nine isn't just frustrated, right? He's thinking ahead. He's planning. You know what I mean? He's planning. So the third scenario would be, you know, damage control, fixing the catalog, right? Fixing what's already broken, essentially. You know, deleting music, that shit, you know, it takes a toll on artists, man. You know what I mean? They lose streams, they lose out on money, revenue. You know what I mean? It's just not a good look when an artist's music gets taken down off distributions. You know what I mean? That welcomes in a lot of unwanted energies and a lot of head start tilting and nodding. You know what I mean? This could also just be about protecting Nine's catalog too, you know, as much as his next move. As far as the G off stuff goes, you know, that, you know, early friction around releases, that kind of signals misalignments, right? And when artists realize that the system around them isn't fully aligned, they start seeking people who will protect their work. You know what I mean? That's how calls like this happen as well. So with that being said, this is essentially what I'm watching next. These are just patterns I'm seeing, not guesses. We're seeing new language in the captions he's posting, new people coming to the picture, into the background. Maybe a restored catalog fully, right? Maybe a rollout that feels cleaner and more intentional, and not situations where he's doing the Cardi method and making people wait 5 months for an album. You know what I mean? But what I'll say is, no matter which scenario this ends up being, you know, Nine isn't sitting still at all. You can see that clearly. This FaceTime tells me that he's moving with intention. And in this industry, intention is everything, right? With that being said, man, Nine Vicious on FaceTime with Wendy Goldstein, co-president of Republic Records. What a journey this has been, man. Um, Hey, man, y'all might want to archive this one, man. Y'all might want to archive this one for real. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I see a lot of people's thoughts all the time on Twitter. As you can see, this this tweet has gotten maybe over 100 likes from when we started this video, and it's just only going more up. So yeah, make sure you follow my socials, RP Flexico, on most of my platforms except for my streaming platforms, Twitch and Kick, where I'm live just about every other day looking at underground stuff. I've been in this scene, in this space, for over 15 years. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing what I've seen over the years, and looking at all this through my eyes, man. And you know yeah, whatever Nine has going on, man, we're behind him, man. We're behind him. Let's see what happens next.